afternoon. You're listening to New Generation Radio on AM 1460 KDWA. I'm your DJ, Reggie Bauer. Along with me in the studio, we have our guest DJ,
Michael Notch.
And you are listening to New Generation Radio. As I just said, I'm, very exhausted right now because, so, spring break. Did you go anywhere for spring break, Michael?
No, not really.
For spring break, I left for the Fargo-Moorhead area on Monday. That's up in the Minnesota-North Dakota border. And so we left on Monday, visit relatives and all that. And then on Saturday night, we went down to my cousin Riley's house. He lives about an hour south of Fargo. And then we were supposed to come back here to the cities on Sunday night. But fate would have it otherwise. When we were about a half hour west of Alexandria, our car broke down.
That sucks.
And then, so it turned out it was the fuel pump, so we had to stay 2 extra nights at Country Inn and Suites in Alexandria. And so, of course, I actually woke up this morning in Alexandria, and we just left Alexandria at 11 o'clock this morning, and so I was late for the mock trial for To Kill a Mockingbird in English class. But I somewhat pulled it together. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to the music now. Enough about me. I forgot to mention that on Saturday morning, when I was up in Fargo, North Dakota, I had the privilege to tour Radio Fargo-Moorhead with Y94's own Rat from the Y94 Morning Playhouse. And that's where I got this t-shirt. I know you're listening, you can't really see it, but I'll post a picture on the Facebook page. I've got a t-shirt, autographed t-shirt from Y94 up in Fargo-Moorhead, so if you ever head that direction, then tune to 93.7, because I know one of the DJs there personally. Anyway, alright, we're back with New Generation Radio on AM 1460 KDWA. I'm your DJ, Reggie Bauer. Along with me in the studio, we have our guest DJ,
Michael Notch.
And it's time now for our weekly dose of fail, where we bring you the odd news stories or just people failing. That's why we call it Weekly Dose of Fail.
I love this.
We've got 3 stories today, and I'm going to go from not as funny to the funniest, because I think I'm going to start doing that now, but we've got a couple really good ones here. First one, from Trenton, New Jersey. Officials in New Jersey's capital say they've resolved a fight over toilet paper. Trenton's The Times newspaper reports Mayor Tony Mack's administration will move forward with an emergency purchase of toilet paper and paper towels. Supplies of both dwindled in city buildings while the administration and city council quarreled over a contract to resupply city government. The stalemate began last September. The council twice rejected a $42,000 contract for a year's supply of paper products because members raised concerns about a high unit price for hot drink cups. This is what our tax dollars are going towards? Before the $16,000 emergency contract was announced Tuesday, officials said paper towels and toilet paper dispensers were nearly depleted in senior citizen centers, police headquarters, the fire department, and other city offices. I repeat my statement again. This is what our tax dollars are going towards.
Just refill the freaking toilet paper. I mean,
don't quarrel over it.
Is it that hard to just buy? I mean, they buy the cheap stuff anyways. So just come up with the stuff you had last time.
That shows you the efficiency of the government.
I know. Just bring up the bill you had last time for it, and then there you go.
Yeah, exactly. All right, our next one here, you'll enjoy this one. In West Yarmouth, Massachusetts, Jacob Clark, a 9-year-old boy, was summoned to jury duty. Like many people who get summoned to jury duty, Jacob Clark didn't want to go. But unlike most people, he had a legitimate excuse. He's 9 years old. I was like, what? A jury duty? Jacob told the Cape Cod Times in response to his summons to appear in Orleans District Court in Massachusetts on April 18th. His grandmother told him it was a good excuse to miss a day of school. His dad called the jury commission office to find out what happened. It turned out that someone had apparently typed 1982 for the third grader's birth instead of 2002. The mistake was quickly corrected. Massachusetts Jury Commissioner Pamela Wood says a child gets called for jury duty once or twice a year. Really?
What? The child gets called for jury duty once or twice a year?
Yeah, a child gets called once or twice a year. Because, like I said, that's the efficiency of the government.
They just mess up. Wow. Oh my gosh. You'd think with all the technology we have, they'd be able to get that stuff straight.
Human error, but still, yeah, I see where you're going. All right, our final one. I know you'll like this one. In Lafayette, Colorado, Police in Lafayette, Colorado have ticketed a man who is accused of tying his cat to a rock after the feline refused to go jogging. Sergeant Fred Palmer says 19-year-old Seth Franco brought his cat on a leash to the path around Winnetka Lake Park on Wednesday, but the cat was unable to keep up. According to the Boulder Daily Camera, witnesses told police that Franco secured the cat's leash to a rock while he finished his run. A passerby called police. Franco was ticketed on suspicion of domestic animal cruel treatment, a municipal offense. Palmer says an ordinance in the city, about 20 miles north of Denver, prohibits that kind of tethering. The cat wasn't injured, so it was released to his owner. Franco could not immediately be reached for comment. Do you even want to spend your time commenting on this?
The cat, he left the cat with the leash on a rock in a public park?
Yeah.
Right? In a public park.
He left the cat tied to a rock in the public park, and then he resumed his jog and then came back to get...
Does it say how many minutes later he came back?
Not really. It doesn't say that. But
okay. So it just says he went for a jog and came back. Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully not too long. Otherwise, you're a pretty insane jogger.